Hi there, Pisces. I did not forget about y'all. I have been doing so many different things and I have been shifting. I think this is an ascension thing going on. I don't know, but I'm not stressed. I just been taking it light. But I was sitting back and I was like, girl, you have to finish shadow work. Like, shadow work, right? That is like my soul's purpose is to offer divine message. And shadow work is when you're kind of struggling, like what is going on? How do I fix my life? Or why is this happening? All of those pieces that feel like they're falling apart or not connecting. So yeah, shame on me, right? Get my ass back up on here and do it right. I do apologize, but I had a lot of other videos I was working on, and then it hit me like something's incomplete, and I felt it, and I knew what it was, but I was like, no one cares. No one really cares to do, And I'm like, girl, you gotta get your tail in here. So here I am, okay? So let's get to it. Divine energy source. I'm ready for y'all. Taurus is next. We're gonna dig in. Aquarius is last. There's something about me and Aquarius. I get they pull a lot of energy from me. So I'm holding off. You too, Pisces. Y'all can too. Sometimes it's glorious, and then sometimes I feel a lot of confusion. So let's see what we can do. Let's go. All right. Divine energy source. This is a general reading, but it is shadow work for Pisces. So if you could please highlight different aspects. I'm saying this, but it's really just me about to shuffle, and divine energy, that source is going to choose which ones, but I still like for you to hear what my process is. Okay. So let's go. What's going on with Pisces? What do they need assistance with? Oh, quite a few things. Okay. So we have trust. We are the world, suppression, and existence. Alrighty. That's pretty. It's not heavy. It's just deep. That's a lot of deep inner emotions going on. So let's see what else. No. Okay. All right. So here we go. Trust. It's exactly what it sounds like. Look at the depiction for it. So with this, but it's not alone. I have to incorporate. We are the world. Because that's how it's speaking. So you might be thinking about some spiritual work, some gifts that you have, Pisces, and, like digging in, and maybe you're trying to figure out what your connection to the all is, there's a light bulb moment that's happened, like the switch is turned on and your intuition is telling you that, this is deeper than rap. I have something to do here, right? So you believe in yourself in that aspect. In your knower, you're ready for that. That's very beautiful. Also, another aspect of this combination is that you want to, I don't know if you're trying, you want to elevate yourself to a point where you can be one with everything. Like you're on this oneness tip. Man, I remember when my oneness tip started, it becomes just a knowing that you're connected. But it's good to explore this aspect that you're in, Pisces. But when I was in the exploring aspect of the oneness concept, and I feel this is where you're at, it was, I realized that the tree might have feelings. Some people are going to be like, what? The tree may have feelings. Because it's alive. You realize that everything is alive. You come to this realization of existence and life. And I will tell you, existence is on the table for you, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, you're working with how to protect yourself, literally. Like, okay, I understand this. But how can I be vulnerable? I'm looking at the clock to make sure it was running. But how can I still know? Like, it doesn't require you to trust that everyone has good intentions, if that's what you're struggling with, Pisces. No way, Jose, or we wouldn't be here talking about shadow work, right? At this point in life, the human condition is very flawed. There, chemicals, environmental. Our water doesn't come from a stream where there's vibration running through it in harmony. There's bleach and all the chlorine, all these things that we're ingesting. The human condition requires that we do not just say we have to allow everyone in our energy, and we don't have to just trust everyone. If that's what you needed clarity on, source just force that out. Like, get it straight. Let them know that no, 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 no. You can hug the tree, but you can't hug everybody. Everybody. We are one body. You cannot be walking around just hugging and trusting. Okay? So understand that. Acceptance of reality. Okay? Trust what is real. Don't try to create a concept of, if I'm not accepting, you're accepting everyone as they are, even in their fucked upness. Right? So I feel that's something you're trying to understand. You're not being called to hold the crimes and hold the emotional issues of everyone by coming into this truth and this knowing. Okay, I hope that helped. You're suppressing a lot because of this concept of this hippie 70s 60s hippie concept of peace and love. And no, the human condition is not peace and love anymore. We are those aspects when we choose to be, but we've come to a point where people have to choose it. It is a choice. Whereas maybe when we were as populated and maybe we were more in tune with nature and, astrologically, things may have been more peaceful. They aren't now. And that's our reality. But we're trying to elevate, right? We're trying to shift. And it's one person at a time that this is going to happen. So you're afraid. I feel that you've come to a point where you're like, here we go. You're like, sometimes I can think some crazy shit and say some crazy shit to people. Like, I can't show that part of me. Or I haven't arrived. And some of you are like, I'm not willing to let go. Fuck that. I just won't be part of the oneness movement. I won't elevate if that's what it's calling for me. And I will just say that it's binding you. Shadow work is about realizing self, right? So you come into meeting your true self, right? And then you start to see these things because they don't connect. They don't define you anymore. Like where for me, I may need to reserve some sass for that ass, right? I may need to, like, what? I don't know. I might need to buck on somebody one day. I don't know. I might need to save that part of me, but do I have to live in that energy? No. Can I be very vulnerable, um, and express my views and my ideas? Yes. Can someone disagree? Yes. Can someone disrespect me? No. So that's where that part that you're trying to, some of you are holding on to it like, I can't let this go, and others of you are embarrassed of it, you're ashamed of it, or you don't want people to know that about you. Let me tell you something. I get on here and I tell my truths. I tell them to help. Sharing is how we grow. I always say perfect people are dangerous. It is important for your audience, your tribe, your friends, your people to know where you came from and where you're headed and where you've been, where you are now. Like, don't hide who you really are. Don't do that. And when they see you and as they interact with you and they see the changes, there are going to be some people that are going to have to go because they're going to try you and they're going to try to belittle you and they're going to try to make you like you have to stay stuck in your moments when you didn't know who you were, when you didn't define, you just lived out whatever you were raised as, whatever you were taught, whether it was right or wrong. That's how children grow up. They just know what we teach them. And then you come to a day where you define yourself. So you have to shed some things. So when people come in and they're like, but you remember when you remember, say, yeah, I remember. But what's that got to do with me? Who I am now, who I am. And if that's how you choose to remember me, then we're going to have to separate. And then you just have to move on. So don't suppress any bit of you, okay? You have to forgive the past and forgive past self if it's necessary, and really celebrate who you are now. Enjoy it, okay? Enjoy every moment of this existence and the exploration and the revelation of who you are, okay? Because then you're actually living in existence. You're actually here. You're actually having a genuine, this is what you came here for. I don't understand why in this place we live, in this plane, in this planet that we live on, for our species, like being human in these avatars, in these bodies, our souls enter these bodies, and it's like we have to follow these amazingly jacked up, or we just have to trust these people that raise us. And it's not a cool system, because then as you mature and you grow, you realize who you are, and it might be completely opposite of the set of rules that were taught to you. Or you may have been overly coddled, or you may have not been loved enough, and you have to work through those things to come into yourself. But that to me is also fantabulous, because your soul is here for an experience. And what a fucking experience, right? Like, you're having an experience for sure. So just have your experience without the rules of you can and you can't change. You gotta be ashamed. No, I gotta have an experience. And then when you come to that moment, you're going to enjoy life. When you're at the precipice, you're at that moment. So this is like the Three of Cups. This is that celebration. It's like a union of self, all of self. But higher self remembers that it is separate, like it is in this body, but it definitely just came here for an experience. That's when life begins. And that's what's happening for you, Pisces. living moment to moment is going to help you a lot. So that's me. So I used to take myself into uncomfortable positions to teach myself how to react. Like I would practice like what's appropriate, what's not, how do I want to handle different situations. And I tell this story, I think, in some of the other shadow work videos, but at one point I chose to go to, for like 2 weeks, I didn't buy dinner. I chose to leave work from the clinic and go to the grocery store. Busiest time of the day. It was a trigger for me. I would I would pop off like, could you back up? Like I had an attitude. I was gonna be in that line and die in the line waiting to check out. Um, very, very it tested all my patience, right? So for 2 weeks I chose to go and get dinner every day, had to go and pick the whole meal to go home and cook for my family. What happened was I came to an understanding that this is just a process. Why was I tripping before? Why was I so irritated? Like I'm not the only person in the world, right, that needs food, right? Um, if someone was standing too close, I wouldn't get upset. I would just turn my body sideways so that it was very out of geometric order. How everyone faces the front waiting for their turn. I would turn sideways so that like my behind wasn't in front of somebody, and more my shoulder and my side body. That made me more comfortable. Um, and I learned to meditate in line. So I could be standing there and I totally learned. This is so crazy. I learned in that moment to moment. I learned in those moments of waiting in that long ass line. Sometimes that line was 20 minutes, y'all, just to check out for food. It wasn't the biggest town, it's Kalamazoo, Michigan. So they had like Myers. Every store had a long line at that time, right? Of day. I actually crazily started to enjoy that time of day because the kids weren't with me. I was able to change my energy from work and shift to, okay, I'm going to go home. And I was able to have time versus a 5-7 minute drive home and then jump right into another role. I was able to shop and then stand in line in peace, not in panic, not in irritability, in peace, and say, okay, when I get home, I'm going to get the kids to help me chop vegetables for the salad. I'm going to start the meat while they do that. And then I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to shower and change. And then dinner should be almost finished. I'm going to get 2 of them picking up the living room, 2 of them upstairs doing a chore. Then we're going to eat. Then I'm going to get them in the bathtub. Like, I took that time to get myself together, get ready for round 2 of the day, right into the evening. And then I would just sit in nothingness and be very, very satisfied. So moment to moment is a beautiful strategy to use, Pisces, to get out of all of this mind chatter. You've got a lot. You're judging yourself harshly, very harshly, some of you, or you're judging others because you've come into this hippie mode when really we're all on our own timeline and we're all in our own processes. And don't let your mind drive you crazy. Always look optimistic. Teach yourself to think optimistically. Like I taught myself to enjoy that crazy hectic time at the store, all the people. I knew I was going to get home. I'm going to get home. Was a few minutes late. I already have a plan for how we're going to get this dinner moving. I'm going to walk in peace, ready to hug everybody and say, hey, I love y'all. How was your day? I completely changed that situation that was such a trigger for me. And I made it beautiful. So while I'm not walking around peace, love, and happiness, I am offering peace, love, and happiness to those that I love. And I'm not at the store acting no damn fool. Right? So get rid of the mind chatter. And last instruction goes along with the full video, which is creativity. You are at that precipice. It's time to trigger yourself on purpose to practice. It's time to love every aspect of who you are, because understand that if there are points of you that people try to bring up that maybe you don't want to remember, that you're trying to suppress, I will never get rid of that part of me that was very protective of little me. I grew up, my nickname is Bubbles. To this day, my nickname is Bubbles to my granny and other people. I don't think she knows how to say my real name. I was very much mistreated, very much. I am still waiting, aside from my children, I'm waiting for an outside person to show me love. I can give it, but to receive it genuinely the way I give it, it just hasn't happened yet, not from a mother. So that's pretty deep, right? So I grew up very protective. There was a physical, sexual, all types of abuse, okay? But I'm me now, and I cannot, I cannot suppress, because your card is suppression. I cannot suppress the truth of my upbringing. I will not suppress it, because that little girl got through it. I got through it. And that little girl, honoring that, I had a dream for that little girl, for little me. I wanted her to be who I am today. Very empowered, very loving. So I would never want to cut off completely those aspects of me that very reactive. I will say that younger me was very reactive. Who, me in my 20s? Okay, very reactive, but I have to hold true to that person that looked out for me, which was little me, that had the imagination, that took me out of my environment into my imagination, and protected me. So embrace all aspects of yourself and don't suppress and hide. And you don't have to be ashamed of your old self coming into your new self. The new self may feel a little more comfortable and calmer, I'm sure, but embrace every aspect of your experience, okay? Let me get you a numerology card. Oh no. Before I do that, what do I want to do? Let me get you, no, I don't want to do that. Let me get you an Earth Path card, okay? Beautiful reading, Pisces. I'm so glad I came back to finish this shadow work. Yes, invocation. So you are merging together all aspects of you, and you need to celebrate where you've come from, who you are, what you've realized, and use your instinct. I told you some of you have some really, you have some healing capabilities, or psychic, or some of you are root workers, some of you are energy healers, and celebrate yourself in your life. Those are your cards. You got invocation, instinct, and celebration. Definitely very beautiful for shadow work. Very beautiful. I'm so thankful. Yeah, you all are trying to create that one love that I spoke about. A love partnership, and that doesn't mean intimate. It means that you all are trying to literally just, the vibe is love, okay? Whew, I hope the back of my head wouldn't toe up. Abundance is coming your way to help you be comfortable with your journey, and some of you may be changing your diet, and that's all pros. All pros. Detoxing, something's going on. A cleanse, a purge, something is going on. So Continue with your work. You're on the right path. Just don't suppress any part of yourself. Okay, Pisces? That is your reading. Stay well.